everybody, what is going on? Welcome to Regularjosh1. Please take the time now to hit that like button in this video, and if you're new, subscribe. On Friday, I got the chance to check out the newest Loud House movie, A Loud House Christmas. I know I have yet to watch the animated one on Netflix, which I find a little odd because, you know, Paramount Plus, Viacom, Nickelodeon, never mind. Like I said in my previous video talking about this movie, I was mainly curious as to how the family was going to be portrayed, and that's what mainly pulled me in. Before we fully get into this review, let's go over the story of this movie. There will be spoilers here, so warning you, if you haven't watched the movie yet, don't watch this video. Unless you're okay with it being spoiled for you, then by all means, go ahead. Lincoln Loud is already planning on a perfect Christmas with his family. However, with Lori deciding to go visit Bobby, Luna getting invited to do something with Sam, Luann having a comedy gig at the senior home, and now the rest of the family planning a trip to Miami for Christmas, his plans seem to be all disrupted. So, to save his family tradition this year, with the help of his best friend Clyde, he decides to do some sabotage. He does whatever it takes to bring Lori back home, keep Luann and Luna from doing their activities, and keep the family together at home so he can have the Christmas that he wanted. Of course, his actions have consequences, as everyone is sad that their Christmas is ruined. So Lincoln tries to right his wrongs, but things continue to go awry. That's the gist of the movie. If I gotta be honest with you, I'm kind of mixed on this movie. It definitely has its problems, but I wouldn't say it's bad per se. There's a couple of good things in this movie, at least. I'll start off with that. First off, I do think that the casting for the most part was pretty good. Most of the actors managed to catch the essence of the characters that they were playing pretty well. Of course, the characters were a little toned down for the cartoon because you can't really act too cartoonish in a live-action adaptation, but I thought they did a pretty good job. I still stand by what I said in the last video. The girl who plays Lisa Loud does a great job portraying her. She might be the most accurate to me in the entire movie. It's very impressive. I do also think that the kid who played Lincoln did a pretty good job as well. For the most part, he sounds like his cartoon counterpart, mainly in the way that he talks and all. Sometimes it feels just a little forced, I guess, with kind of some of the inflections and whatnot, but it's still kind of impressive to me. So, in the department of casting, I thought they did a pretty good job. Gotta give them props for that. The story itself was fine for a Loud House-esque story. It has a lot of crazy antics in it, which is what you would expect, really. The only other Loud House special I've seen was when they all go on a road trip, and we all know how that turned out. I will say, the movie did manage to make me feel like I was watching an episode of the show. As strange as it looks in live-action form, and trust me, some of these scenes just seem a little insane, it still captures the craziness that the Loud House can be known for. This is a movie that kids definitely will enjoy, so there is no worry for that. Here is the biggest thing that I found to be an issue for this movie, and kind of leads to its downfall. It's unbelievably short. The movie clocks in at only 65 minutes, so just a little over an hour. Because of this, the movie feels rushed a majority of the time. Very quickly, we hear about the family wanting to do different things this Christmas. Very quickly, we see Lincoln and Clyde enact their plan to keep the family together. Very quickly do we see that his actions have a negative impact on everyone around him. And very quickly, he now wants to try to fix everything. It's all too fast. I think if the movie was given an extra 30 minutes or something, there would be some improvement. At least we would have been given a bit more time for things to happen. I would have liked to see Luann getting the gig for Christmas, or Sam asking Luna to hang out with her on that day, or Lori coming to the tough decision to stay nearby college. Also, I think the announcements from those sisters could have come at different times too, so we could have seen Lincoln's plans seemingly falling apart each time. Like, say, maybe he could have slowly accepted that Lori wasn't coming home for Christmas, even though he would have missed her, but they're a little used to that because she's kind of away from home already. But then when he hears about Luna and Luann's plans, that's when he begins to really worry. Then we hear that his parents wanted to take a Miami trip, and that sets him off. I would have think that would have been a better way of showing that things are gonna be different for Christmas this year. Also, let's be real, the sudden decision to go to Miami with the rest of the family was also way too fast. Like, who just spontaneously says that they're gonna take a trip to another state the next day, which just so happens to also be Christmas? Come on. Strangely enough with this movie, where it feels like it's rushed, some parts also feel like they drag on a bit. When Lincoln gets ready to go to the Christmas tree lighting ceremony, he goes to every single sister's room and sees how sad they all were that things didn't turn out so well for them. It would be one thing if, say, they were all together on the couch or something, each one of them saying how disappointed that they were, but going to one room after another just felt like they were hammering in the fact that Lincoln messed up things for everyone. I think that could have been handled better in this movie. And as for Lincoln, oh boy. A character does something wrong, maybe for their own selfish needs or whatever. They apologize and own up to it, and they barely suffer any consequences for their actions. It's a common thing I've noticed recently when I've watched a new episode of the show. So here, Lincoln basically ruins everything for his family, but also ends up ruining everything for everyone in town. When he eventually tells the truth, we find out that he was afraid of things changing, and he didn't want the family to grow apart. Wish they mentioned that near the beginning of the movie, so at the very least we could really understand more of his motivations, but okay. And because his heart was supposedly in the right place, the family and the town forgave him for everything. Everything is A-okay. Of course it is. Yeah, these were the biggest issues I had with this movie. Lincoln kinda getting away with everything did bother me, but again, it's kinda typical for the Loud House now, so I really should have expected it. If the movie was more than 65 minutes long, I think a lot of things here could have been fleshed out more. It does suffer from being too short, so it kind of feels like a lot of things were crammed into the story. I do wonder if it was originally going to be around 90 minutes, but for whatever reason, they decided to cut it down to 65 minutes. If that were to be the case, I guess that would explain, well, everything. Overall, I think the movie was okay. It was fairly easy to sit through, and there's been a couple of moments where I did manage to chuckle here and there. It was a pretty predictable story, but some things did manage to still surprise me either way. The cast were definitely fun to watch portraying these characters. Plus, it did manage to still pull me in, and there were some fun moments in the film. It's certainly not a bad film, it just could have been better. As for what I would rate this movie, I'll give it about a 3 out of 5. For what it is, it's a passable film. If you're a fan of The Loud House, you will most likely enjoy this fine. Well, that's my review of A Loud House Christmas. Have you guys seen it? If so, did you guys enjoy the movie? Let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and hit the bell to be notified on my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, you're hearing it from a regular bunny in a regular world. See you next time.